Imagine an abandoned building shrouded in fog, where for years no one dared to enter. But what few people know is that, behind the cold walls of that place, one of the darkest scientific experiments in human history once took place. And the worst part? Some believe that it never really ended. A young biology student named Daniel gains access to confidential documents about an old research institute called RAVENWOOD, shut down in the 1970s after a mysterious fire, according to the reports. They studied the boundary between consciousness and matter. Scientists attempted to isolate and map what they called the spark of the soul. Fascinated by the idea, Daniel decides to investigate on his own. He finds the abandoned building and, armed with a camera, a recorder, and a notebook, steps inside. The deeper he goes, the stranger the marks on the walls become. Symbols that seem to blend scientific formulas with arcane inscriptions. In an untouched laboratory, he discovers an experimental device, a metallic capsule, connected to electrodes and tubes that still emit a faint hum, as if it were in standby mode. In the dusty archives, he reads the scientists' reports. They had managed to induce out-of-body experiences in their volunteers. But something went wrong. Some subjects never came back. Daniel decides to activate the machine, unaware of the consequences. As he powers it on, the entire building seems to awaken. Lights flicker. Echoes of distant voices drift through the halls. He feels a pressure in the air as though he is being watched. Suddenly, a humanoid shadow appears, reflected in the glass of the capsule. But when he turns around, nothing is there. The recorder captures a whispering voice. "You shouldn't have woken me up." Daniel then finds the diary of Dr. Magnus Vale, the project's leader. The diary reveals that the scientists believed they had succeeded in separating consciousness from the human body. But instead of mapping the soul, they had created a parasitic entity, formed from disconnected minds, a cluster of lost consciousnesses. The Ravenwood fire was no accident. It was a desperate attempt to destroy this entity before it became autonomous. The entity begins to manifest aggressively. Daniel sees figures, hears screams, and feels invisible hands pulling him toward the capsule. The walls seem to close in, as if the institute itself were alive. Desperate, he tries to escape, but every exit leads him back to the same hallway. The only way out seems to be entering the capsule and repeating the experiment. Daniel steps inside the capsule, straps on the electrodes, and activates the machine. A sepulchral silence takes over. He feels his body floating, his mind expanding. When he opens his eyes, he's outside the institute. The sun is shining, birds are singing. He smiles, believing he has broken free. But when he looks at his reflection in a puddle, he doesn't see his own face. The reflection shows Dr. Magnus Vale smiling back at him. The entity was never trapped in the building. It was merely waiting for a new host. And so the forgotten experiment of Ravenwood found continuity. Perhaps not in a laboratory nor in old machines, but within a new mind. Now I ask you, what if, as you watch this video, that entity is also watching you, waiting for an empty space to inhabit? Think about that the next time you look in the mirror tonight.